Hey Dan,
Hey Chris, can you hear
how are
me?
you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Good, good.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this with me, man.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
How's everything going? Everyone staying healthy and everything?
Yeah, man, we're trying to keep momentum going. It's our team's pretty healthy right now. I'm just pulling up some notes. I'm sorry. Um, no complaints on that end. How about you guys? You guys are staying healthy over there. You guys, does it look pretty? It's pretty tight over there in California, huh?
Yeah, yeah, definitely have some challenges. Um, you know, employees, family members getting it and stuff like that. It's
Oh,
getting
cool.
yeah, getting hit close to home. Some people missing work because of getting tested and just it's getting more and more real. But yeah, trying to balance staying healthy, but not being too scared and still trying to work.
Right. It's a tough balance, huh?
Yeah. Are you guys working at the office
Yeah, we have
or
been.
home?
We've
Yeah.
had a couple people work from home, but our area is not really locked down for the office work. Are you guys working from home mostly or in the office?
No, we're still able to come to work to the office.
Okay,
Um, so yeah, we try different ways, but for the most part, we are coming into the office.
good deal. You guys have a nice view, man.
Oh, thanks.
What floor are you guys on?
We're on the 10th floor.
Oh, awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to look have a little view, but yeah, Chris. So yeah, let's talk about. I wanted to share with the audience, um, how well you're doing in such a short time.
Sure.
Yeah, 5,000 policies, right? Over 5,000, I think. It was 5,200 or something like that.
Correct. Yeah, we started in April of 2015, and just over the last 5 years, we're now at 5,200 policies in force, so a little over 5 million in premium, and just keep reinvesting in the business. So it's been a good journey building a team and getting people on board and bought into the vision and values of what we're trying to accomplish. So similar to a lot of things you guys are doing, but obviously some unique things we think we both do differently that we can learn from each other on. So I know we've talked about that.
Yeah, yeah, a little, maybe, the location, territory, that plays a little factor, but a lot of the values are the same. So your office is in Kansas, right?
We're actually yeah right there actually in Kansas City, Missouri, on the Missouri side.
Oh, okay. That's so weird because it's like Kansas City, but Kansas City's actually in Missouri,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a Kansas City, Missouri, and a Kansas City, Kansas. So it's split by
Oh,
the
okay.
river.
Oh, wow. That makes it even more confusing.
Right, right. So our office is right there on state line. We're actually moving soon, so it's but it's been good.
Oh,
My
yeah.
office was first in Kansas out of the district office, first 3 years, and then we moved to Kansas City, right across the state line, last couple of years. So,
Okay. Well, um, what's your plan on the move?
well, we're actually right now we've got 14 people, and we're kind of capped out on as far as how much we can grow with about 1,000 square feet. And so we ended up buying a building that has about 3,000 square feet, and we're actually going to end up cutting our note in half. So we were able to expand our territory a little bit and cut our expenses down. And so I've been wanting to do this for quite some time, use the farmer's contract value to kind of reinvest in a building and grow an asset while we're actually expanding our space.
Yeah. Through Fig.
Yeah, correct.
Oh, nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
I'm excited about it, man. It's felt a little cramped. I love the bullpen feeling of the district office, and then it was just me and Joe, one of the guys that's on our partner track. It was just me and him when we moved into the 1,000 square foot building 3 years ago, and now we've got 14 people, and so we're starting to get crowded.
14 people not in 1,000 square feet.
Yes, a couple people we rotate the hours being part time,
Okay,
so
okay.
we'll have some people coming in the afternoon, the evenings, and so it's we're tight.
So yeah, when is it expected to? When's the move-in date? Do you know?
Actually, we're looking at the end of this folio, so beginning of next
Oh,
month.
nice. You're busy then.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's fun though. That sounds like a lot of fun. You're just planning it out. Who's gonna sit where.
yeah,
Just like a whole new business. To
yeah, 100%, 100%.
yeah,
It's been a lot of fun to get to kind of put your own little flavor on it, and we actually put up a little basketball goal outside the office. And so I got a lot of young guys. So we're looking forward to having some games out there and midday or before work. So
Oh, yeah, get the blood flowing.
exactly.
A little friendly competition.
Oh yeah. Oh
Do you play?
yeah.
Do you play basketball growing up?
I did play a little bit. Not, not super, wasn't super good for high school, college, or anything like that, but I used to play a lot growing up.
Oh yeah, yeah, same here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
Down in New Orleans, actually. So I grew up in New Orleans on the coast, and basically around after I finished college, moved up to Kansas City. Just had some friends in the area, and been up here ever since. So,
Oh, okay. Is your family still down there,
well,
New
they kind of
Orleans?
split the time up. We're down there. They're down there during my parents are down there during the winter,
Uh-huh. Okay.
and then they're up here a lot of the year, up
Oh,
here during a lot
nice.
of the year. So,
And how'd you
how
get
about
started
you?
in the insurance business? Is it straight to farmers, or what did you do
Right,
before that?
straight through farmers. So 2015, I had a friend of mine that had worked part time as a cold caller, actually for a President's Council agency out in Kansas named Jacob Eaton. And so when I was looking for work, I wanted to do a couple things. I wanted to be able to, have a good, you know, starting opportunity, and then say, hey, I don't want to have a cap or a limit on the income I want to make. I want to be able to continue to grow, make renewals, build a team. There was key things that I wanted to be in control of as I transitioned into, owning my own business. It was thinking of, hey, how do I build a team, incentivize people, help other people become successful? But then how do I also myself really be an owner versus a technician or just a manager? Move into a place where I can build systems and reproduce myself and, you know, find a structure that would allow me to do that and give me the training and the coaching. And so when I met with my district manager back in 2015, he had a great operation out of the district office, real nice looking office, and they'd had a lot of success and trophies. And so it was impressive. Their operation still is 5 years later, Josh Sharp. And, I was excited about the opportunity and jumped right into the career room. One of the last of I think I was actually one of the last of the career agents they had out here in the Midwest.
So you didn't have any like insurance experience or anything like that? Like what were you doing before then?
So I worked in restaurants, worked in hotel management, did some church work. I had a kind of variety after college of things that I did, but a lot of people work, people skills, and then learning a little bit about how to manage and run small businesses, but nothing of my own. And so I knew I had an interest in and a knack for enjoying working with people and motivating people and growing revenue through marketing and sales. I knew I had some talent in that and enjoyed the team building component, obviously from playing sports growing up. So those were all the things that said, hey, this would probably be a good fit. The farmer's opportunity would be a good fit for me. And so that's 2015. That's when I got started. So I didn't have any natural market, didn't really have a clue what I was getting into. But
Yeah.
fortunately, the district office was there to kind of support and just went right to cold call. I went right to picking up old 21st century leads and picking up, leads that had been called 100 times by different agents, and I got my 40 and 4 that way. So just picking up whatever lead list I could pick up. I didn't have any money at the time for marketing. And so it took me a few months to get through it. So we started off first month, things sold 17 policies and 12 policies and 19 policies. So I was just trying to survive back then.
Yeah. No, I remember too. I started the district office too. I think there's something to say about, having that support in the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes I feel like, you know, I don't know what they call it now, but the retail strategy of like,
Right.
you know, you get your own office from the very first day. It's like,
Oh,
wow,
right.
that might be pretty rough, especially depending on your product knowledge and that support and just training, I think, for new agents really helped me out too.
Yeah, 100%, Dan. I agree. I was very fortunate it was like a greenhouse where you
Mm,
just kind of grow quicker. You get the nutrients you need. That's what I looked at the district office as was a place where I could make a lot of mistakes in a safe environment without feeling all the weight of, you know, how am I going to make rent? For me, it
mm,
was just,
yeah.
I got to make enough money to survive for myself, my kids. So I had enough pressure as it was.
Yeah, it's not easy.
Right.
I'm thinking like, wow, like, the retail strategy of having someone have to have employees from day one, having book a business, from day one they have to service to. And if you
Right.
don't, and then I think when I was new at the district office, it's kind of cool to have camaraderie with other newer agents,
Right.
and learn from each other and kind of like go through the same journey. I
Oh,
think
100%.
that was a
Very,
cool
very fortunate.
experience.
Yeah, exactly. Very fortunate. We've had some people that have been very successful in the retail over here in the protege. We've had people who be very successful, but I always look back at that, my experiences, think, man, I feel the real advantage. I feel the real fortune to be able to work with my district manager for 2.5 years in his office, talk to him every day,
Hmm.
get the attention of the team, and just kind of see the excellence and see their model for how he ran a business. So,
Hmm. Yeah, and then so what do you think got you off to such a fast start? I mean, that's you're that's a crazy pace to be without insurance experience. That totally makes sense that you're interested in sales. But what are the key decisions or moves you think you made that helped you grow this fast? I mean, that's kind of you know that's impressive. What do you think plays into
sure,
that?
sure. A couple things. The pressure. There was a positive pressure of the career program where I had to sell something like 40 and 4 every quarter just to maintain the subsidy.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I ran the numbers and I thought, well, I have to at least do that. And I'd like to make more. I'd like to be able to waive this, do the run to daylight. So that was a pressure of like, I got to at least do 40 and 4 to get the career numbers hit, or 50 and 5. And then I want to hit the max number so I can get the run to daylight. So that was a motivator. But also I talked to my district manager and he was saying, Chris, you're a guy that's going to be able to do 70 to 90 policies a month. And I was thinking, man, I was in unbelief. Like, how is that possible to do 70? I was struggling to do 15 to 20,
Mhm.
And so just having somebody else believe in me. And I remember that, my DM's brother, Christopher Glover, told me, hey, you're going to do 40 and 4 every month. And I was like, I don't know, I don't know how I'm going to do that. So I had this culture of, they just had this culture of belief system and that positive energy out of the office. And so when he said that, I just was in unbelief. Like I thought, man, I'd be lucky to do 20 policies a month. But then he just kind of encouraged me, hey, take advantage of every opportunity Farmers has. Do the events. We had like $1,800 in event money they were giving away at the time. Take advantage of the 21st century leads that were coming in. So we just started taking advantage of everything they had. And I had this motivation of, he said, Chris, when you're making money, you're making your renewals. Why don't you bet on yourself? Why don't you go big, bet on yourself, live a little tighter first few years and just really try to grow the agency quickly. That way you have a foundation, you can build a team. And so there was always this constant affirmation and pressure to build a team, get a marketer on board as soon as you could, get a customer service rep, build a team. And that was kind of the model and the mindset. You're only as good as your team. And so I bought into that right away because, you know, I didn't know anything about the industry, but I knew enough to look at success and say, okay, I want to model that. I want to model that level of success. And so I decided, hey, I'm going to start spending $1,000 a month on leads. I'm going to take the farmer's $1,800. I'm going to take 1,000 of my own revenue, and I'm going to spend $2,800 on marketing. And then I said, hey, I'm going to move it up to 3,000 of my money once the renewals got up a little higher, then 5,000. So I systematically just said, hey, I'm going to reinvest in growth just because what better investment do we have, right? I knew my margin, I knew my numbers, I knew if I spent 4 or 5 thousand on marketing, I could probably sell 40 to 50,000 in premium, and so or more, and that would renew for me every year. So there were so many motivators, but that was one of them. I wanted to see my contract value grow. That was an awesome part of our contract, was that we could grow our contract value, and so that's just a couple of things that motivated me to really try to just reinvest, grow a team, reproduce myself, and make it a little bit easier as I got bigger. I
Hmm.
wanted to get out of just the day-to-day grind of making cold calls. I wanted to be able to afford a little bit easier marketing systems and
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What was your DM's name again? What was your
Josh
DM?
Sharp.
Josh Sharp, man. Yeah, words of wisdom, right? He's must have been helping out a
Exactly.
lot of agents for a long time. But yeah, I think some of the keys that I could really relate to is just putting it back into your business.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, how little money did you make the first couple of years, or did you
Yeah. It was. I
did you
didn't
think
take home. I didn't take home much money first couple of years. First 2 years probably took home. right around 30,000 or so.
Just to live, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just thinking, hey, I just need to cover my basis. I even rented out some rooms in my house. You know, it's like, hey, I'm gonna have some roommates. You know, I had this house, you know, a couple extra bedrooms. So I had some buddies come live with me. I was like, I'm just gonna pour everything back in,
Yep.
and I didn't even think about it. I just thought, you know, I thought, hey, that's what all business owners do. First 3 years, you don't even think about what money you're making. You just think about how can I get my business sustainable and off the ground.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I think, when I was in the subsidy program, I was kind of noticing that other, agents, if you're getting subsidy money, that's like a no-brainer to put back into the business. That's like
Exactly.
farmers helping you put more, fire or gas to the fuel or whatever that saying is. So yeah, you see agents not doing that. And I think that's a great mentality to have as a business, looking at it as a business owner rather than like a sales agent where we make money, make commission and then just spend that on, our lifestyle or,
Oh,
um,
100%.
yeah, not making a sacrifice or not having the patience
Yeah,
because,
I think building the foundation, what I've seen from years 3 to 5 is the foundation that I built, really our team built in the first 3 years. Joe and I and a couple of guys that have joined us, Devin, I found that that built the foundation for future success. You know, once you get used to the systems you're building and you adapt and you change and you go through a couple of changes, you then have a foundation that you're ready to keep growing the business year after year after year after year without having to grind or sweat so hard, you know?
yeah, the first few years are really just the hardest. But
Oh, yeah.
once you start seeing that, hey, this works, because part of it is like, you're not even sure if like, okay, I'm spending all this money. Is this really going to be worth it? But once you see
Yeah.
it working, it gets a little easier and you get a little bit more courageous or you get a little, not courageous, but you're willing to put more back because at this point, you see it work.
100%. 100%. You're absolutely correct on that. And so I think everybody, you know, every agency's got to decide, hey, I'm going to bet on myself. I'm going to move the ball forward, build good systems, reinvest, build a great team. So, excuse me. Sorry about that, Dan.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
Um,
You still think some of my challenges sometimes could be like, now that, we built up a little bit of agency, do you think you're still as frugal, or do you think you're enjoying it a little bit, or what's your situation right now, you say?
yeah, I think I've increased my lifestyle a little bit just to
Yeah,
kind of support, you know, kind of now I'm leading a team of 14 people. So I
right.
think people want to see the vision of success and they want to see you kind of represent something that you've accomplished something, you know. So there's a little bit of that pressure to, you know, enjoy life as well
Yeah.
because your team is following your leadership. And you know, I think if I would just live as tight for 5 straight years, I think people
Mhm.
would look at me like, man, what's he doing, you know?
Yeah, it's like I don't want to work my ass off to be like that guy,
Exactly,
yeah,
exactly.
to be
Yeah,
that, you got to enjoy, you know, the fruits of labor a little bit too. Yeah, it's a balance.
yeah, 100%. So I definitely think I've increased what I enjoy and take home, but I still keep a, you know, I try to look at like 65 to 70% of my revenue, reinvesting it back in the business and keeping that fuel to the fire, like you said, keeping the team happy, keeping the team motivated, doing fun events, doing community events, having nights out, award ceremonies for my own team, Christmas parties, you know, the whole 9 yards. That way we feel like, hey, we're going somewhere as a team together, you know? So I definitely made some adjustments, you know, because keep in mind, first 3 years, it was just me and one or two other people. So it didn't really matter that much. I could live real tight. As we've gotten bigger, you know, I had to think a little more creatively, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a pretty big team. What are some of when you're growing that fast? I think some of the challenges finding the right people.
Yeah.
What are some of your strategies when it comes to recruiting?
A couple
I
things.
think I remember you have like one of your best friends, right? You guys working together?
Yeah, we do. We do. I have a buddy of mine from college. He moved up
That's right.
here and he helped me out. He was working at State Farm down in Mississippi and just didn't have great training. he didn't have great training and he didn't have great lead flow. They put him in the back of a room and he was telling me about it. And I just said, hey, why don't you come up here? We'll make sure you have a lead flow. We'll make sure you have great training. And so we've done something similar like yourself. You know, we've put together some videos for our team to train them on. I've always thought about this. Like, I want to recruit people, Dan, that I want to do life with. If I'm going to be with these people 50 hours a week, I want to enjoy doing life with them, you know. And so I'm always looking at, hey, are they going to be contributors? Are they going to be earners? People that earn their value? Are they going to be people that eventually can become competent department heads or competent managers of the team? So I'm always looking at people that have a similar value system and a vision for where they want to go. Because if they don't have a similar value system, similar vision, doesn't matter how much I do for them, they're just not going to fit on this team, you know. And so, you know, we want to take care of our people really well, but we also want them to take care of the agency really well. And so it's a balance, you know. I think you know that as good as well as anybody. It's a balance of, you know, you have to always be recruiting, always be building the team, always be keeping that wheelhouse moving. That was the language I would use with my team early on. It's just building that wheelhouse of giving people opportunities, giving
Hmm.
people a shot. That's what farmers did for me. You know, I needed an opportunity, and they were able to give me one, train me, and we're going to provide great training. We're going to provide great opportunity, great incentives, opportunity to make a lot of money, more money than they can make elsewhere, and the
That
leadership
helps.
training. Yeah, the leadership training that we provide. So we believe in our system. We believe in the company, and you know, I think you always got to be doing those three things. Always be driving revenue, always be recruiting, always be building your team. And that's really the three things I do more than anything. Those three things. I'm looking at revenue, I'm looking at team building, and I'm looking at recruiting. You know, and so that's what I tell my leaders on my team. We've got 3 or 4 guys that are leaders, and I tell them, you know, it's not just driving revenue, being an earner for the company. It's also, hey, are you helping other people out on the team? You know, are you building the team, or are you somebody that just is trying to compete and knock everybody out the way? Are you helping recruit other people to the team? You
Yeah.
know, and so that's a well-rounded leader I'm looking for. Somebody that can help me replace myself and they can replace themselves. So
Yeah. Sometimes top sales agents or producers are really almost to a fault too competitive.
100%.
So they're,
You're 100% right. So
they,
I've tried to incentivize them with that. Like, hey, if you can recruit and train people, let them be their marketer for a while, you know,
hmm
so they have an incentive to make these people help them win, you know?
yeah. Yeah, you got to get some of the, you see in sports too, some of the superstars, but you really take it to the next level when they're able to make other people better.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
And
not
it's something we're trying to create in the culture. I'm not saying, I don't think we've perfected it, but it's a value we have. I think we have a lot of room to grow in it, you know?
yeah, yeah, it's something that we're constantly learning and trying to get better as leaders. But I absolutely agree with you. Just building the culture is, top of the list when it comes to our duties, our responsibilities.
100%. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
So
But do you is it mostly through natural market, or do you have like ideal traits, or some of these other programs?
we've really done a combination of the three. Gotten referrals to our agency, natural market. We've done some social media posting, and then we have done some looking on Indeed.com and some of
Mm,
the ideal traits. But you know, your best people, I find they buy in right away to the system because they have, you know, in the referral game in sales referrals. You know how it is. It's a transference of trust. You know, when you get a referral to
mm-hmm.
somebody else, you sell a client, they refer you to their friend, that trust transfers, and it works the same thing when you're hiring somebody new. They trust you, you know, and that accelerates their learning curve as far as their buy-in.
Yeah, yeah. If they already know somebody that's like the job, making some money, it's just so much better to have that person already know and interested than just someone cold off, Craigslist
Right.
or
It's
just
because it makes it, you're absolutely right. It makes
yeah,
it easier for them to understand what needs to be done, to feel safe with it, and be incentivized to make more money. And it gives me the responsibility to make sure that our team is a type of place where people would want to work. You know, this is
yeah,
a type of place where it's fun, you know, where the people are appreciated. They're challenged, you know, but they're appreciated. And then we give opportunities for promotion. We value them. We feel like we're on a mission to make our city better, make our community better, you know, and so people feel like, hey, they're getting leadership training, they're being empowered. And we want them to be involved at every level of what we do. So it's I believe if we can create that type of atmosphere as the leaders in our agencies, you're going to get far more referrals. If you create that vibe in your office.
Yeah. Yeah. No, people, yeah, it's just, I absolutely agree. People just, want to follow or want to be part of something that's doing well. It's just human nature, if you're playing sports and you want to be with a winning team,
Right.
so I
You
think,
got to keep your funnel. You got to keep your funnel moving in that arena too.
yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And
What
I
about,
always thought
was that?
one of the thoughts I've always had, Dan, is you can only manage people in a team as well as you can recruit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you ever thought about that?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to, it's kind of like college basketball, it's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
it's like you have to keep that going or the future is not going to look good because some people, well, hopefully some of them will stay, but eventually some people are going to maybe not work out, but you almost have to like plan for that to build a team. That's really kind of where it starts, is the recruiting process.
Right.
So keeping that open and really always looking out for good talent, it's a challenge. But I think over time, I think it's a skill that we all get better at too. You kind of see signs, you
Yeah.
start seeing patterns of like, oh, this person, you could kind of tell, even though they have no product knowledge whatsoever. You could just tell by, um, attitude if they're going to be good or not. The work ethic
Right.
part is kind of hard to read. I wish I could tell that like by just doing an interview how hard of a worker they are.
Yeah, exactly.
the,
Exactly. You nailed it.
the attitude and the philosophy, or just some of the, if you get in a deep conversation, you could kind of get an idea of how motivated they are. But it's really hard. It's really hard. I've made so many mistakes. But you know, even if I make 10 mistakes, 10 wrong hires, if I have one good hire out of 10 of them, it just makes it so worth it.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was looking back last couple of years and went from me and Joe, 2 people to 14 people. So
Just a
I'm
year?
look, no, last 3 years.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
That's so fast.
I look at it like, but we've probably hired 35 to 40 people,
Right.
put them through our training, put them through our marketing program. And sometimes it takes that much.
Do you do the training, or do you have somebody else help you out with that, or?
Yeah, we give them some video training. We have we have an Audible, company Audible page where we say, hey, go listen to these few books,
Hmm.
like Sell or Be Sold, or
Oh, nice.
some of the
Same
Stephen
here.
Covey books. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. So we put them on that training program and give them a couple YouTube videos for me and Joe and just have them listen to it. And then once they're on board, we put them in a marketing program where they just market for a while. And, once they hit their 50 appointments set and kept, we'll give them an opportunity to get licensed and sell and grow into their new role. So it's a little bit of our own version of the Candos model. I know you're familiar with that, but
Hmm.
we've basically put together our own version of that to move people from marketer to producer to partner, and that way they have a future and an equity share in our business.
Yeah. No, it's awesome to have like a career path, so they have a vision of what could happen.
Correct.
Because who want a job that you're going to be doing the same thing everything, same thing for years and years. You want to know which direction your company, your career is going. So they make the appointments and then they become producers. What about your customer service situation?
Right. So we've kind of, at one point, we divided into, at first we kind of had everybody do just generally everything when it was just me and Joe. But we kind of divided out the work with a clear division of labor. I know some people do that, some people don't do it, but we wanted to create specialists, and so we really departmentalized between marketers, the marketing team, the sales team, and then the front office. We call it the front office sales team.
Hmm.
So these guys are the guys that are onboarding, they're watching the UQI, but they're also cross-selling, they're referring, they're milking they're giving all the different products that we have to offer to cultivate the book. And so we've got three and a half people up there, three in a part-time, and they've put up probably 300,000 in premium together in the last, I believe, 7 months.
Oh, nice.
I think that's collectively maybe
Not
200,000.
not only that, but improving the retention too.
Correct. So they know, hey, these guys are earners. These guys are called to be earners, and to drive revenue and to make sure that we don't have any challenges or problems with service. And so it frees up my sales guys just to focus on marketing, development, recruiting, sales, and driving cross selling everything we have, you know? So, and it gives me a little bit easier ability to manage what's going on and how productive each person is, you know?
Hmm. Do you do um like some of the hands-on training, like like if someone has a lead or a customer service situation, like do you actually do some training yourself?
Yeah, I always have.
Yeah.
Now that we have some department heads, I've done probably less of that. I just spend more time coaching the department heads on what I want. So we've got three people that lead the departments, and so I've focused more of my efforts on those three. You know,
Right.
but all along the journey, you have to kind of attach yourself to your employee or to your teammate right when they first get started. You know,
Yeah.
and if you don't attach yourself to them, it's like a child. You know,
Yeah.
it's gonna grow up dysfunctional. You know.
That's so true. Yeah, I had somebody new starting on Monday, and it's like, okay, here we go. Here's a journey.
Yeah.
Literally, it's just starting them off with the most basic stuff. But yeah, just literally sit myself right next to them for 8 hours, and be available if they need any help. I used to have somebody else do that, but that person's on maternity leave, so I'm kind of back into that role. But
Yeah.
I do feel like, who else should be a better trainer than us ourselves, and that's a big part of developing a team, is to be available for them and to help them out. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to train somebody.
It is. It is. And I've tried to balance that, how much I want to do. I've always tried to delegate that out last year or so, but there's times when I'm like, I need to jump back in on that, you know.
Yeah.
It's I'm always ebbing and flowing, trying to release and delegate and empower my leaders
Yeah.
to do it. But then I'm like, sometimes I need to get back in the game, you know?
Yeah. It should ebb and flow too, because if you were training somebody brand new for all year long, then it might be a situation when you burn out, and giving somebody else a try, it might actually help them, become a better
Oh,
leader.
100%.
So
100%.
it's I think nothing is ever like concrete at our agency. We always, move around duties and
Yeah.
try different things, and not really be afraid to make mistakes. But because every situation is a learning opportunity, training itself is, yes, it's probably the hardest. And I don't know, what would you say are like your like favorite duties? Like I would still love to sell,
Yeah.
but I don't as much. What are some things that you enjoy most about, your daily, activities?
Sure. So I have a once a week Friday morning team meeting that I enjoy where I can just really resell the dream, resell the vision, the mission, the values of what we're about. And so I've been doing that for 3 years now, every Friday morning. And it's just a leaders meeting. And I have the whole team come and I'm just speaking right to the core of what we're doing. So I really enjoy that. That's something I enjoy. And then secondly, just kind of reviewing with the producers, just their income potential, reviewing with them, you know, hey, here's where we're at on the lead tracker. Here's where we're at on sales goals. But those are the things I enjoy doing. But that's kind of a bigger picture. I don't know if I do that stuff every single day, but yeah, probably every day. But you know, I enjoy that.
Yeah, me too. Motivating them,
Right,
it's just
exactly.
looking at the potential and just getting excited together with them.
Yeah,
You know, I,
exactly.
I I love that. I love that stuff too. I think that is because, not only you're helping your agency, but you're really helping out that individual too.
Oh, 100%. You know, that's what I think. You know, I tell this to my team, especially because I try to hook up the producers with the marketers and have them kind of attach to where then they can develop and kind of reproduce themselves into the marketer. And you have that kind of, there's an incentive to make the marketer good because if they make the marketer good, then they can get more appointments,
Hmm.
you know? And so I've tried to create that, you know, incentive for them to really develop others.
Yeah.
So it's kind of creating financial structures. It's creating organizational structures that facilitate people to do what you want,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. So when you say marketers set up appointments, do you, do you guys go out on appointments right now, or what's the like the environment out there as far as like face-to-face meetings?
So we do some. Um, we have been doing some. We've done a lot more phone appointments recently.
Yeah.
We have done some home appointments in certain areas. Certain areas are a little more strict. You know,
Hmm.
we market to 50-mile radius, and some areas are a little more strict, and we want to follow the rules. But we've been going out to homes in certain areas a little less restrictive. So
Has that impacted the business at all, or have you guys made some um, you know, adapted in different ways, or
you know, I don't know that it's really. I don't think I have anything noticeable, to be honest with you,
yeah,
Danny. I don't know that we've seen much. We've continued to grow. We've continued to sell. People that want to win are going to keep winning,
yep.
and people that were looking for an excuse, I think they got their excuse. You know. Uh,
This is a perfect excuse for a lot of people.
yeah. So you're exactly right. So we just constantly, like you said, we've tried to make good plans with all the stuff going on, measure the plans, and then make the adjustments. But when I look at the last 3 months compared to the first 3 months of the year, I can't tell you much has been different
Okay, good to
for
hear.
us.
Yeah, yeah. It is a lot of it is just keeping the same mentality. Keeping the same um, looking at the opportunity rather than the issues.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys have done well with this double down going on. It's for me, it's always moving the carrot around a little bit, moving the carrot around and seeing what's going to motivate people. Everybody has a unique motivation, so we're trying different things. I have one guy on my team, my roommate. He's really motivated by trips, and he's earned some money with that with the double down, and we're paying for him to go on a trip to Disney World with his family. He hit some big numbers last couple months, and so I'm finding different people are motivated by different things. I'm motivated by making money. I am motivated by I like going to be a part of the awards trips, things like that that Farmers has, but I'm primarily motivated by making money and winning. But different people are motivated by different things. And so I'm trying to get to the root of that with different ones and create the different carrots and incentives to where they can, thrive and, feel it,
Yeah,
feel the hunger.
yeah. No, that's so true. It's so important for us to understand like what each of our employees actually really want. It's kind of like in sales too, what the customer really wants too. But sometimes I'm with you. That motivates me. The money, the income. Building a business. Bless you.
Excuse me, sorry.
Those things really motivate me. But for some people, it's just like just being part of a team. Feeling
Yeah.
valuable in a winning team, and it's just not really the income, but sometimes they some need a little bit more uh, sense of gratitude, or feeling that they're appreciated with their contributions, even if they're not really into competing in the sales wise,
Yeah.
So it's really interesting what really pushes each person, and for us to be able to adjust to each employee and understand different motivational reasons is I think really important too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm finding them, we've started to do this little giveaway of a baseball. We have this nice little leather baseball, little glove, little golden glove, the trophy that we give out every month to the best, most diversified, best salesperson for the month. So they like that and they get some extra benefits, rewards with that. And we just kind of rotate that around. Who's the top salesperson that's got the most? We have our own little internal KPIs, who's selling
Hmm.
the most live financial service, who's helping cross sell into the different things. So it's keeping those things moving. The company's always keeping things moving, and I think you have to kind of, as the leader, move with them.
Hmm. What are some of the when you do the KPIs and you have your own system of figuring out who the top agent does it is it always the same, or does it fluctuate?
You mean like, does it always same as always the same sales agent?
Yeah.
A lot of times it is, but when I introduce things like, hey, whoever sells the most, whoever's got the most like life, or whoever refers the most financial services, or whoever helps recruit somebody else, I've seen people that are not the top P&C producer win that award
Okay. Yeah. That's
because I've even allowed the front office guys to compete for it, and having a happy customer award and allowing them to feel like, hey, I had one of our front office guys sell 22 policies in a month, and they overshot their target by like 7 policies, and they cross-sold Couple Life, and it enabled me to give it to them versus just the sales guys,
Right.
because they were the most, they hit it the most, So I'm always looking at that. Who's building the team? And we give them different perks. The new office, I'm gonna have them have a special parking spot for the month. Have them, have them have a couple free meals, and just give them a couple perks for winning that award monthly. And then we're trying to do the regular year-end awards like Farmers does, year-end awards. We have a Lake of the Ozarks nearby, so we do some lake trips for people that are winning quarterly. So we try to have an awards and celebration culture, celebrate success.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You guys actually like take a trip there?
yeah. It's about 2.5 hours away, so I've taken a few of the award winners there, and so we try to do that in the summertime. And every year end, we have the whole team to an awards banquet right around Christmas time. So we'll do give away awards for each department. So it's
That's
people love,
awesome, Chris.
yeah, people love that. I try to run the agency like a mini district. I looked at what my district manager was doing with award ceremonies and trips and all that stuff. And so, it's always recruiting, training, motivating, educating the team,
Mhm.
incentivizing them, selling the dream. It's always a combination of those things. That's the leader's job.
Yeah. But yeah, those trips, I mean, that's gotta bring a lot of camaraderie and, they must feel really, just spending time together too. That's something that sounds good, great. And it's Ozarks, that's the show has made that area
Yeah,
kind of famous, huh?
exactly. Have you watched the show?
Yeah, I am watching it actually right now.
Oh, it's awesome.
I'm a little behind. I really don't watch that much TV, but I've got that show has gotten a lot of great recommendations. So I was like, okay, and it
It's
is kind of
fun.
interesting,
Yeah,
it has. I don't really get into shows that much, but
yeah,
when it comes to like finances and kind of like entrepreneurial like
yeah.
stuff
Yeah,
behind
it's
it. So.
fun. When you come visit, there's a restaurant down there called Marty Bird's. So you'll have to,
Oh yeah.
I'll have to take you there when you come visit. So
the,
yeah,
the,
he's got his own restaurant down there now.
oh really?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, that show I'm sure must have brought a lot of awareness. So, s- whoe-
100%.
yeah, whoever made that restaurant is definitely capitalizing from it. That's smart.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's
So
it's
yeah,
a cool place.
what's your plans or what's kind of like besides the new office? I mean, that's definitely something that taking a lot of your planning time and game planning. But what are some strategies you have in place for the great opportunity we have moving forward?
So I think for me, it's moving to a place of continuing every quarter to try to add another producer every quarter, but looking at how to really strengthen the book of business, strengthen our client relationships, strengthen our financial services component, strengthen the diversity of products that we have, the commercial and life and FS. And, I think we've always been good at the P&C game, but I think I'd like to see our rapport and our brand and who we are in the community get a little bit bigger and better as far as people feeling good about their insurance program
Hmm.
being with us. And so that's something I'm always thinking about is, hey, how do we not just make money today but make money tomorrow?
Hmm.
How do we build the bridge to our community, give back, make sure that our people are successful? I feel like that's like there's two things in my mind all the time is how do I help my team make the most amount of money they can make, and how do we make the best impact on our community, and how do we do them both well? So that's what we're trying to do, and this, but I feel like money, that's just the fruit of when we create meaning and value and solve other people's problems. So that's when I say we want to make more money for our team. It's like I want them to be out there in the community solving problems, making people better, create meaning and value for people, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think sometimes people have like misconceptions when we say like, yeah, I'm motivated by making a lot of money. It sounds like people think that's like a selfish statement, but it's actually a sign that you're bringing more value to the community.
Oh,
You
a
know?
hundred percent, 100%. And I don't know why, I mean, I don't know why anybody would have anything against it, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
The people,
sometimes that's kind of a hurdle that I have to get through to my employees. Like, hey, no, it's a good thing. That means you're helping more people. Like, you're actually a good person.
yeah,
There's
exactly.
I don't know, not sure if there's like they grew up with a mindset that trying to make more money is actually like a bad thing. Like that means you're like greedy. But it's like, hey, no, if you are not making not producing, that means you're actually getting greedy because you're a burden for somebody else or even the government or the taxpayers, you know?
You're 100% right, Dan. Yeah, that's what I had that conversation this morning. My team, my Friday morning meeting was, when you sell a policy, you help out 5 different people. When you don't sell, you don't help anybody. When you sell a policy, you're helping the company, you're helping the client, or really the client, then the company, you're helping yourself, you're helping the agency. And if you delivered a better product, you're helping the community because you're stopping somebody from being in a crisis.
Yeah, and if you're not selling, then you might be making draw or the hourly, and you're not producing. So it's actually you're taking away.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And so you have to go to war with those mindsets.
Yep.
That's the role of a leader, is just to constantly, you have to really always be reselling the vision, reselling the values, reselling the mission. And I always tell those people on my team, hey, the person that serves the most amount of people makes the most amount of money. So who's going to serve the most amount of people? Sales is service.
Hmm.
And so that's our model here, is how do we strategically serve the most amount of people?
Yeah, because who doesn't? How is that a bad thing? Serving people is like helping people. It's the same thing. If you're, I think genuinely, I think most people could agree that I want to help people.
Oh, 100%. We just had a client, unfortunately, with a life insurance deal. We've had a couple clients that have died last couple of years with our life insurance policies. And I'm looking at just our numbers. I'm like, the bigger we get, the more we have things like that go on. We had a
Yeah.
guy, recently, and we're thankful that we were able to provide for his family. We had a guy that we had rolled over some money for. His account grew probably $100,000 in the last, 4 or 5 years in this financial services, and he passed away, and his wife's got a lot more money. So we're always looking at, and I'm reminding the team of that. You know, Claims will happen. It's a
Hmm.
statistical fact. Claims are going to happen. Let's make sure we sell the product that they'd want to have if they had a claim. Don't be thinking about what can they afford, what do they need. Sell the product that they would want to have in the event that a claim happens.
Yeah, and the last thing we should be thinking about is our commissions. You
Exactly.
know,
You're exactly right.
we should be thinking about doing the right thing. And I think I think what I'm getting a lot from you, Chris, is that you're really trying to build a brand out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're really trying to build something for the long term. And whereas a lot of times we kind of get into the battle of just like short term. Let me get a sale real quick. And move on to the next one. But when you say I want to strengthen my book of business and strengthen relationships with the clients, I think that's the right move to try to build something more sustainable where things happen, economic changes or rate changes happen, that it's still something that is not going to be as fragile, because when you build a good brand and the clients and your team believe in, that's going to be something that really is going to make a big difference. So always thinking long term. I think it's just something that I could really relate with, like from the very beginning, what you're saying, from when you started to what your vision is moving forward. Um, yeah, that's a difference maker when it comes to agents who are thinking short term and who's thinking long term.
You're 100% correct. You're 100% correct. The agent that starts off thinking about themselves, that's thinking about how do I take care of me, is not gonna be anywhere close to the agent that's thinking, how do I grow the company? How do I reinvest? How do I serve my community? The other focus, it benefits you. You
Hmm.
know,
Later, but that's something that um, it's a proven concept. You give first and you receive later.
you're always going to reap what you sow. We call it sometimes like a sanctified selfishness, where the more people you serve, it's like the go-getter, right? Or the go-giver, right? The more people you give to, you can't you can't outgive, right, what you're going to get back in the future. So it's having that
Mhm.
confidence that you're going to reap what you sow if you just don't lose heart and you stay focused.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a good one. That's really good, Chris. Yeah, yeah. Well, really blessed to be in the situation, really. And I think with talking to other agents, it's awesome that I get to, you know, we share a lot of, even though like some of the tactics might be a little different,
Yeah.
the strategy might be a little bit different, but in the root of things, the why we do things, and our vision is great. But yeah, I'm really excited with the opportunity the company has given us. It's with the PGB, and I think it just really makes sense that we should be focused on growth. We have such a great opportunity that you know, to get excited about.
Yeah, you're 100% right. I feel like the farmer's opportunity is the best one on the market. You know, the opportunity to be trained and developed, and the culture that the mentors have, even on the top shelf. It's a culture where everybody's giving back to each other. You know, and I always look at it like, I talked to my DM about it the other last week. It's like, you put God first, and then you have these three things. You have the client, you have the company, and then you have your family. We have an opportunity every day to serve those three things in the right order, every day. Because when I serve the client the best product that they need and what they want, the company itself is going to be better.
Mhm.
You're not going to have a bad problem. You're not going to have an incident, and then you end up benefiting yourself. And so it's, you don't have to, we're fortunate not to be in an industry where you have to put one above the other, you
Yeah,
know?
that's so true. I would hate to have a job where like I'm selling something that's like bad for them.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
We
Exactly
wouldn't be able
right.
to sleep at night. You
Mhm.
know,
Or I'm not sure if they're going to need it, or I'm not sure, whatever.
yeah, yeah. It's just not, wouldn't be sustainable. Even if you do it for a short period of time, you're gonna at the end of the day you're gonna feel awful, and you're just not gonna be able to build something that way. So
Yeah, so I'm thankful, man. Farmers, I would not be where I'm at, and I feel like you said, we're just getting started. I feel like I'm just getting started. 33,
you're
but
33.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
so just getting started. I'm excited about the next 10 years, and wouldn't be where I'm at without the farmers' opportunity.
yeah. No,
Somebody take,
seriously.
yeah, the mentors, the coaches, the the everything they've afforded us. Obviously, you and I worked hard. We played our part. We were good students of the game, but it takes great leadership to, you know, make get us where we're at.
Yeah. You do some coaching
Yeah,
or
I do. I do. Especially last year, I did a bunch. Traveled a bunch of places across the Midwest area, and really love that. I love to get out there and coach and speak and all that stuff. But I enjoy it because I enjoy meeting with other agencies and see what's working for them, and giving back to a company that's given me a lot. Obviously, haven't done much with the corona, but I take calls all the time, 2 or 3 times a week, on calls with other agencies that are growing
Mhm.
and trying to get to be somewhere. And so we're always available for that. I try to make that as part of my life now. It's part of my schedule, is coaching other agencies like yourself. It's just part of what we do, is answering questions and, giving back and helping them get better. And, I look back at some of the agencies we've coached and mentored, and, I'm hoping they get to be President's Council. I'm hoping they have in the future, they say, hey, because I was working with Dan, or because I was working with Chris, I became President's Council. I think that's what I'd like to see in the next 10 years, is have that reputation in at least in the Midwest here, of helping other people get where they want to be.
Yeah, and it kind of comes full circle when you help someone, it helps you too. But I've noticed that when I help other agents, it kind of like and give advice. It almost like you're repeating the advice to yourself.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's in a weird way. Like when I help other agents, it's like I help myself. Like I actually get a little bit more clear on what I need to be doing. Or sometimes I'll give advice and be like, "Hey, I should be doing this." So
100%.
um,
100%.
yeah. Um, so when you bring value to people, you're just you know in a selfless way. It actually ends up being almost like selfish that you're actually helping yourself. So I definitely see that. Helping others, just making it part of our you know um daily part, one of the small a part. It can't be the biggest part, but because you have to take it, you have other responsibilities, but throwing that in there, no matter what size your agency is, because there's always someone you could help. So I think doing that, getting that started early, more, even if you don't have any tactical advice, just with the mindset, just staying positive and being
Oh, 100,
optimistic.
yeah,
Those are things
100%,
that
man.
helps
Yeah,
every agency.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I tell people. You have a mix of agencies out there, and I would encourage people that are wanting to win, go get coached by people that you want to be like. Listen to advice only from people that are winning and where you want to be versus the people that are complaining and whining and negative as their, you know, kind of just that's their mode of operation. Don't reach out to the agents that are whining and complaining. Talk to the people that are winning in a certain area and get advice, get coaching. You know what I'm saying, Dan? It's like
Yeah,
only
because
take
that's
advice from people you want to be like.
yeah, because that's the other way around is just as as helpful as being around agents that you want to be like is so valuable and so helpful. The other way around is so dangerous. You just hear the rates are too expensive, or not enough support or not enough training, or it's just such a dangerous place to be in. You
Right.
really have to be selective in who and who you really associate. And that's been proven. That's like everybody kind of knows that
Yeah, you become like who you hang around, right?
yep,
So
exactly.
we took to heart the book that Farmers was promoting a couple of years ago, Above the Line, and we make everybody read it and just say, hey, that's our culture here. Is we have an above the line culture. We want A players. No, we say it all the time. No, it's part of our culture. No BCD. Don't blame. Don't complain. Don't defend yourself. Just get the job done. Just show up and get it done.
Above the
Show up
line,
and
is that a like a mindset book, or is that a more tactical book, or is that by
it's a mindset book by I don't know if it was just in the Midwest territory, but it was Above the Line was a book by a guy named Urban Meyer, who coached Tim Tebow in
oh
Ohio
yeah, yeah.
State. And so it's basically how do we respond? How do we respond when we have a challenge? Are we gonna throw a fit? Are we gonna whine? Are we gonna blame others? Are we gonna complain? Are we gonna defend ourselves? Are we gonna just think, hey, what's the solution? How can I solve the problem? How can I win? And so it's a coaching book.
Hmm.
And it creates it helps create a coaching atmosphere, and anything outside of that's not going to work long term.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that guy's a proven winner, so
Yeah, he's a
he
champion.
obviously knows what he's saying. Um, but yeah, there's so many similarities with sports. There's so many lessons we could learn from it.
100%.
What's your basketball team? Kansas college?
You know, I don't necessarily have a college basketball team, but I'd like to go see KU play in the fall if it's open. But
Yeah.
when I grew up in South Louisiana, so I was always an LSU football fan.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
so but LSU the college basketball wasn't that great. So and then when I went to college, that's when they finally had the New Orleans Pelicans.
Uh-huh.
So they just recently got a team 10 years ago. So I grew up watching the Bulls. I don't know if you watched The Last Dance,
Oh
but
yeah.
I enjoyed that watching that series again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you were a Bulls fan back then?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. See, me too. I grew up in LA, and it's like, I have no shame. Like all my classmates were Laker fans, and I grew up a Bulls fan. So
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. It's just something about the competitiveness or the wanting to be great. It's a lot of inspiration we could get from great sports players. But who better than the goat?
Yeah, 100%. You're 100% right. So, how about you? But you're in an area where they got a lot of great college basketball, huh?
Yeah, but I've always rooted for the underdog, so I'm actually a big Clipper fan.
Oh, awesome,
Yeah, I went to a
awesome.
couple games this year before it got shut down, and it's started again. It's kind of weird to have sports back on. I kind of almost got used to not having it on,
Yeah,
and it gave me some time to do some personal development. That's why I started watching shows like Ozark recently. But yesterday, the season started off again, so I was like, wow, this
yeah,
is I missed it. But yeah, it's all about teamwork, you know coaching, different roles on the team. We have your superstars, role players. You know, I think Phil Jackson had a pretty good influence on me too. Um, but yeah, so yeah, Clipper fan. There's a lot of good sports in Southern California. But I never became a Laker fan. So we'll see. This year's gonna be the first time the Clippers have actually I think have a chance. We'll see what happens.
oh, that's fun, man. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm hoping things start opening up again soon. I'd love
Yeah,
to.
the Pelicans are gonna be exciting too with Zion.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
you,
100%
you
right.
guys have a bright future.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to getting a couple games. So
Yeah. All right, Chris. Well, yeah, it was good talking to you again, man. I think that I know the audience is gonna get some value out of it. I think you're just the start you're on is so impressive. Totally makes sense. You have the mindset that you do. We're gonna be keeping in touch because we're both in it for the long term.
yeah,
So
exactly, exactly.
we're gonna be. I'm gonna be definitely rooting for you out there. You know, um, actually getting to meet you at achievement clubs and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
exactly. No, I was just saying thanks so much, and I look forward to hanging out with you too at the Achievement Clubs. Honored to be with you guys. Obviously honored to be with you, and appreciate you having me on. And excited to learn from everybody else that's on your podcast. And if anybody needs help, they can always reach out. And I just honored to be with you, man. Thanks so much.
all right, thanks, Chris.
Thank
Until
you.
next time. See you.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, see you.